episode of Beyond the Pages with Sacramento Real Producers in partnership with Big Valley Mortgage. I'm super excited to have you guys here this morning. I know we're all just getting comfortable, but this is going to be a great conversation. Thrilled to have our guests all recently featured in the July issue of Real Producers. So hopefully that has hit everybody's mailboxes. And now you get to hear just a little bit more behind the story, the real people here. So I love doing these podcasts. I know we were talking about it just a little bit ago, but the idea that we are all so much more than just what we do is the goal of Real Producers in general. And this podcast, just getting to get a little bit deeper into our stories. I'm really excited about the group that we have here because you guys all have really unique pasts, and your paths to winding up in real estate. So we're going to talk a little bit about that because I think there is no one path to success. You're all extremely successful in real estate and have been doing it for a very different amount of years. And some of you have really long past careers in other things. So we have Brian Peay over here. He was our cover agent this past month. So thanks for being here.
Thanks for putting me on the cover.
Yes, absolutely. And we're going to get into your marathon running and just your long career in real estate. But I want to go around the room and just introduce everybody. We've got Latrice Peay over here, our rising star.
Thank you.
Latrice, how many years were we talking about how this was, you were coming for Real Producers, you were going to be in this magazine, you were going to be in the community. So I'm excited to finally get to feature you. And
Thank you so much. I am so excited.
Yeah.
I just started my 4th year. I've probably been harassing you from the start of real estate. So for me, it's been, that badge has been a goal of mine. So it's an honor to be here.
You set your sights and you were like, I'm coming for you. And then I saw you on that list and under 5 years, it's pretty impressive. So Lucy Righini over here, super excited to have featured you in the magazine. And you have like a rich past in finance that I'm excited to hear about and so much more to your story. So thank you for being here.
Yeah, super excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we've got our preferred partner, Mr. Carlos Navarro. Sorry about that. So Carlos has been a preferred partner with us for years now, top-notch tile, and taken over the business from working alongside your father, who started the business. So it's been, I mean, I still remember sitting down with you and your dad that very first time, and you were driving the whole conversation. We are going to be part of this network, Dad. This is what we're going to do. So how are you?
Great.
Good.
Thanks for having me as well. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So lots of different stories in this room, lots of different paths to success. I would love to hear from you guys. Was real estate always the plan? I know the answer for some of you, but what were you doing before this? How did, like, what were you doing before this? What do people not know?
Gosh, I did everything before this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, tell us.
So I got married when I was 22. My wife and I lived in Fremont, and my first real job was in construction or commercial construction.
Mm-hmm.
And I quickly realized that wasn't my path. And I eventually made my way into marketing with a tech company in Fremont. When that didn't work out in the late 90s, around 2000, we decided to move to Rockland.
Okay.
We've been in Rockland now 26 years. I was a headhunter for a minute. I actually sold boats for a minute.
Okay.
But real estate was always in the background.
Yeah.
My wife was an interior designer, a successful one for many years.
Okay.
And in my off time, we were always looking at property.
Yeah.
So when the time came, I thought maybe I would make a good agent. A few friends of ours said, you would?
Yeah.
So that's one day I decided.
Nobody in your family did real estate or anything.
No.
But it was just kind of always something
there
in the back of the mind.
And when I finally made a decision, I jumped in head first.
Okay. It's surprising to me how many agents I hear have a background in marketing, some sort of little background in marketing, which marketing in the 90s, so different than marketing. My daughter's a marketing major at Cal Poly right now. So different now in 2026, but
I can't imagine.
I'm sure some of that still comes into play. Just that mindset.
It does. It does.
Thinking through that lens.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Anybody else? What were you doing before? Tell us. I know, but tell everybody listening.
I was with state government for 18 years.
Yes, you were. State government.
I swore I was going to retire My entire family's background has been state government. I started the state at 20 years old.
Yeah.
And it was just what it was. But then there was always a piece of me that's like, oh, well, I want some financial freedom.
Mm-hmm.
I had took my real estate exam in 2016, passed it, but never did anything with it because it's always the thought of being uncomfortable.
Right.
Right. You're 100% commission based. You have kids. So it was the residual income kept me comfortable with the state for 18 years.
Yeah. That's what I wanted to ask you is what finally makes you go, I'm going to leave the stability of a career with the state.
Yeah.
Because I'm just going to bet on myself. I'm going to go do this.
It wasn't my choice. And so I was in that space, like where I said, I had promoted really well with the state. I was a business services manager, very young. I was provided oversight to over 176 DMV offices, managed a $20 million budget. It was my place where I thought I was just going to promote up. I still have my retirement chart. I believed I was going to stay until I was 55.
Okay.
Maybe 62, depending on what it was.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I'll say God had a different route for me, right? And I think what I learned now is that you just don't want any bad relationship, right? And you can easily outgrow an environment, but if you're comfortable, you operate in that space of, well, I don't want to do something different. So for me, it wasn't a choice. I was thrown into real estate because I had nothing else once I was terminated.
Yeah.
But I remembered I had that license in 2016.
Yeah.
And I just remember like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do?
Here we go. Here's the new plan.
Flip them active. And I said, all right, God, here we go. If I'm meant to do this and this is where I'm supposed to be, then I will at least make my annual state salary. So my first year of real estate, I think I made about 60 grand. It allowed me to pay my bills, but then you start learning real estate. You start understanding business, marketing, and here I am.
And here she is.
Yeah.
I love it. All right. Tell us your background, Lucy.
Okay. Yeah. So I worked at Intel Corporation for 11 years. I'm from the Bay Area as well. Met my husband in high school sweethearts. I was 14. He was 17. Math class did me in. So that was it. And I really just pictured myself truly being there. Went to Santa Clara University.
Such a great school.
Amazing school.
Yeah.
I had the opportunity. I was kind of a book nerd. I really love school. So I had a full ride scholarship for the, entire room and board, everything.
That's incredible.
Yeah. I graduated and got my finance degree in 3 years, but because I had the scholarship for the 4 years, I'm like, well, might as well get a second. So I got a second degree in economics in the 4 years, and then worked straight at Intel. It was, obviously Silicon Valley, and people kind of laugh when they see me now because how were you in a cubicle for 11 years? Well,
yeah.
I didn't love it, if I'm being completely honest. I think Intel was an amazing just corporation in and of itself, but I would do other things that would fulfill me in ways to spark my personality. So for example, since I was in finance, I joined the finance integration team, which was in charge of integrating all the new finance hires and doing the fun, right? Happy hours, those kind of things. And so I was always involved in that, which made it a lot better, and then just being kind of spokesperson for headcount and things like giving them different production numbers and that kind of stuff. So talking to people and having those relationships was always there.
Yeah. Clearly comes really naturally.
It really, I just loved that part of it. But honestly, since my husband and we were married so young, I was 22, he was 25. He lost his parents very tragically early before we were even married. We didn't have a lot going for us in the Bay Area. My parents migrated here from El Salvador, so I didn't have anything to go with. It was just him and I. Yeah. So we were trying to figure out how we wanted to buy a house and start a family. And oddly enough, my manager at the time worked in Folsom.
Okay.
And so after, being in Intel for a couple of years, I was like, if I want to go to Folsom and move there, how easy would that be? She's like, well, do you want to transfer tomorrow? And I was like, yeah, I'd love to. So came to Folsom in 2005 and never looked back.
Wow.
Absolutely
Which location
loved it.
were you at in the Bay?
I was in the Santa Clara division. Okay. Yeah, in the Folsom and worldwide revenue, actually. And so I had you rotate every couple of years there. So it was really nice. So you could jump around to different, departments. But yeah, been in Folsom ever since, and then bought my first house. And when I bought my first house, my agent was awesome. She was a friend's mom and I absolutely loved her, but she was also brand spanking new. So the one thing that my husband wanted, and this was in 2005. So the market was completely crazy. Houses were selling before people could see them.
Geez.
So I was here for work and my husband's like, you see this house, just go. Like, if you like it, put an offer in it. All I want is a hot tub. So I was like, okay. I took a friend from work with me to go see it. And there was a hot tub and I was like, hey, we want it. She's like, okay, well, let's not write it in because maybe they won't, ask for it later. I didn't know anything about real estate. Anyways, long story short, they ended up charging us for the hot tub before we closed. And I was like,
there's a better way to do this.
I just don't want other people to have to go through this. So that's when I got my license.
Oh, that's crazy.
I never really did anything with it until, a lender encouraged me down the road, was like, you'd be really good at just kind of doing this.
Yeah.
And so, just kind of was helping clients. My boss first was one client on the side because, I would never help sellers. I would help buyers. You could help people after work and on weekends. And so, I would just, coworkers, those kinds of things. And then I was there for, like I said, almost 11 years and got the opportunity, got similar, not terminated per se, but a severance package option because they were starting to do layoffs. And I was like, well, I think this is my sign.
Yeah.
So in 2014, just kind of took the leap and was like, I think I'd be really happy doing this and never looked back.
Good time to jump in.
That's amazing.
It really was.
Yeah.
It was fantastic looking back.
That's great. I love that. Okay, Carlos, you're younger, family business. I want to know, there's I know you don't have like a decade of what were you doing before, but did you, with the family business dynamic, was this kind of always the plan? Did you feel like you had a choice? How's that started for you?
So actually, no, I always kind of thought I would work with my dad, right? But I never thought I'd be running the business. And then pretty much getting out of high school, I was like, there's no way I'm going to work with my dad. Like, we would just always be arguing and yelling at each other. And like,
did you work for him in high school?
Yes.
Okay.
Throughout summers.
Yeah.
Right. And then I got my own little jobs throughout high school. And then my first job ever was KFC, but I went to college and I was like, I'm going to study business. I knew I wanted to do something with business. Like, I always say my first real job or business was recycling. Like, since I was 5 years old, I would recycle
entrepreneurial
cans,
spirit. I love it.
I'd smash the cans so you'd have more room in the bag, right? More money. But I just never thought I'd work with my dad. And then I went to college, ended up getting into financial services, dropped out of college to do that full time. I wouldn't say I was doing great, but I was doing pretty good. And then COVID came, so I was working pretty much from home. So I wasn't driving to clients' houses anymore. Everything was on Zoom. And so I had a lot more free time. My dad had got this software for his company, but they sold it to him basically as like a lead generation software or system, but it was more just a software, right? And it literally just started with helping him with how to use that. I built him a website out and started creating socials for him, literally just started helping him.
Yeah.
This was during COVID. And then one day he couldn't make an appointment and I came from sales, right? I was doing sales and I was kind of tired of doing everything on Zoom. So I was like, yeah, I'll do some more of your appointments. And I started closing more sales and kind of slowly went from spare time to part-time to full-time to running the business 6 months later. And then meeting with you, maybe that was a year after I just started helping him.
Yeah, you were right at the beginning stages of helping him because you guys came together and it's been phenomenal to watch your relational skills.
So it's been cool. It's been
things.
We definitely have grown looking back, when I started, to where, like I said, I was just helping. I never thought I'd own the business now. So
sounds like it happened organically though.
Yeah,
it's sort of.
It definitely.
He wasn't trying to rope you in, but he wanted help.
Yeah.
Even the first 6 months to a year, I was like, I don't think I want to do this.
Yeah, I'm just doing this for right now.
But I think, I think God. I believe in God. I have a lot. I'm not the type of person that goes to church every Sunday, but I have a lot of faith. I believe God does everything for a reason, and I don't know. I just felt like it's.
Your path was being steered.
Made it happen. Right? It was just meant to happen. So
I love that.
Yeah.
So I'm curious from you guys having different backgrounds coming into the real estate space. Did you, well, I got like a 2-part question to this. Did you find that your backgrounds informed a certain piece of your skill set that you were growing in real estate? Like what did you take from your past? And then was there anything that you felt like you had to unlearn from past careers or past ways of interacting that you're like, oh, I got to do this differently now, being a business, like owning my own business, being an entrepreneur, running real estate? Were there any things like that that
for myself, I think I know I'm extremely grateful from the training and education I got from state service. But I think when I originally started real estate, I've always had, I'll call myself an advocate for people, right? And that was one of the reasons why I was terminated, because I've always been very vocal. You see things that aren't okay, they're not right. It's a lot of nepotism or things that are going on. So, that wasn't fair that happened to that person. Well, then once you become vocal and you speak out, then you get that target on your back. So for me, I was always frustrated because I always felt constrained or placed in a box because I couldn't operate within my strengths of doing the right thing, being honest, operating with integrity. But I was the business services manager, so customer service was huge. I worked with a lot of our vendors and contractors. I think by my second year, it rolled into the business side, and I contribute my success to that. Because as a business services manager, by my second year, I realized, hey, you're not a realtor, you're a business. How does your business run? So I literally just took that same annual budget, the whole process of being the business services manager, operating a $20 million budget, 176 offices. All right, here's your budget for supplies, material, here's marketing, right? And it allows you just to operate at the highest level.
Yeah, that is a huge benefit to you, because I talk with a lot of our rising stars under 5 years in the business, and they're not thinking about that stuff yet. It's like,
I would say experienced agents don't think about that stuff yet. So that you're way ahead of the game.
And I say that, and I even think about when I'm going with them, talking with other agents or in brokerages, we don't operate as a business. We're literally on autopilot, rolling, right? But what does that look like for us? What does a retirement look like? So I do attribute my success to real estate. And to one thing I had to unlearn in real estate is it's also okay to do business with people you don't like. Within state government, if you did not like somebody, you were going to let it be known. You were going to talk about it. They operate in a space, we'll say a half empty bottle versus half full, right? So a lot of that came into business in my first year, very frustrated because I do have strong skills to advocate and do right by people. So when you're learning lender partners, you're learning agents, and you're going, wow, this is just not okay. Oh, but we don't talk about it. Well, whoa, this is someone's livelihood here. So I would be very vocal and responding emotionally, where I realized, like, well, you're blessed because you get to pick who you choose to work with while you're advocating for your clients. So, and there still are agents that are on the other side that I may not be very fond of, but we have the common core of getting the transaction done at the highest level with integrity, even if I don't care for your personality.
I love that. That's something that comes into play here in my job with Real Producers is, the top 500 is the top 500. And I can't tell you a month in the last 6 years that I've not gotten calls after the issue comes out, somebody not liking somebody that I featured, but I get to be like, you know what? There's a human side of them that I bet if you read their story, I can get you to at least take the villain title
That's
off,
why I was so happy to do this.
Because
have you guys worked with me before?
No.
Okay. So no, that was for me just showing the more human side of me.
Because you guys are all business, and sometimes transactions are tense, and you got to get
to your point. There are agents I've worked with that I'm like, oh gosh, I don't like them. But then a few years later, I'll work with them again, and then something will happen, and you realize, oh, they're just like me.
Exactly,
and it's important.
Everybody's had their worst.
Give everybody a second, third, fourth chance.
There's so much growth.
In this business.
100%.
You have to.
That is my number one goal with running Real Producers. It's the thing I'm the most passionate about. Is in a different setting, you guys could possibly be friends.
And you can
Absolutely.
grow after
But-
one transaction in this industry.
Yeah.
There was one, I just joined Guide, and there's one agent, I won't say his name. Oh my gosh, he was horrible to me. And
So funny.
I ran into him. He goes, oh my gosh. He goes, I was horrible to you, huh?
Yeah.
And I go, it's okay. He goes, I'm so sorry.
Right.
And we laughed it off. But the old me and the beginning me, very
Write somebody off
insecure,
forever.
imposter
Yeah.
syndrome. Oh, well, I'm not talking to you because
Right.
we're all human.
Have we
all
not all
change.
been
We grow.
horrible to
I've
somebody?
been
Oh
horrible
my
to
gosh.
people,
Come
right?
on.
Yeah,
And
right?
I'm
I
going,
know.
and now I just run. And when you're on autopilot in the beginning of real estate, like Brian and I were saying, we're just surviving.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're not thinking about anything else now. Every agent I work with, I introduce myself. We give grace. I'm very, just because it's going, things happen. We don't, sometimes we're going to be beyond these timelines.
Right.
But what is our end goal?
Yep.
I like
Push
to
through,
believe
serve the
every
clients.
agent, my
Serve.
goal is to
Win-win.
make sure we have a great experience with each other, and it's a win-win for all of us.
Yeah.
I represent my buyer or I represent my seller, but we're people. Just
Yeah.
give each other grace.
That's
I
very well
love that,
said.
Latrice.
It's as long as you guys are marching towards a common goal.
Yes.
And your client, you'll figure it out.
You figure it out.
Like legitimately just got into this with another agent, and we were going back and forth on email, and it was getting pretty heated. And finally I just picked up the phone and I was like,
Yes.
Pick up that
Yes.
phone.
yes. I was like, hey, I don't like how this conversation's turning.
There you
Let's
go.
step back. What are we trying to do? And then he was like, I'm so glad you called.
Yes.
And it just like eased everything, which before, honestly, if I would have kept responding, I'd be like,
Yeah.
I never want to work with that agent again. If he sends me an
Easy.
offer, I'm going to talk my
Right.
client out of it. You know what I mean? Like all of
The
that
keyboard
pettiness.
warrior
Easy.
mentality.
Yeah.
It's a lot harder, even just voice to voice on the phone. But then, see,
Yeah.
that's my goal. I'm like, I'm going to get you all at an event together, and you're going to have cocktails with each other. And then you really are like, wait, let's drop what we were, it's just, you
Yeah.
got to get people face to face still.
Absolutely.
Humanize everybody.
because you
Stories.
can't read
I love
emotions
that.
in an email or text.
It's
Yeah.
so true.
No.
And I speak very direct. I will
Same.
not
Yeah.
get on an
Shocker.
email. I will pick up the phone because I know it's very
Don't
easy
read it wrong.
to misread what I'm saying. But
Yeah.
that is because we're so busy, right?
Mhm.
It's like something is, starting an email with good morning. I might just send where's this at?
Yeah.
Where it's like, nope, let's pause because we're so busy. We just want what we want. I need what I need. I don't need the mush.
Yeah.
But we don't know what type of day someone's having.
It's true. Right.
What's business look
Exactly.
like? Right?
don't,
Business
no.
is insane right now. The market is crazy.
Yeah.
So for me, I always like to give grace.
Mhm.
So even with the agent, I laughed. I go, you're so amazing because I do admire the agent you are. And we just laughed about it. But it's going, holding a grudge, it makes it more difficult.
Yeah.
You can be kind and be nice, and it makes for such a more pleasant
Absolutely.
experience. You don't have to have pride or ego.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of pride and ego in this industry.
I try to
I'm
only
going,
apologize
whoa.
maybe a handful of times a year. I'm getting better. Getting better.
Right.
You try
One
always
day
say that,
better
say
than
that sentence
yesterday.
again. You have a goal of only apologizing
A handful.
because
Handful.
you've only done things that you need to apologize for a handful of times, or you just don't want to say you're
It's-
wrong.
I
more
don't
than a
mind
couple
being no, I
times.
don't mind being wrong. It's just that, most of us in this business are type A.
Mm-hmm.
And so we like to get to the point.
Yeah.
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 And sometimes to get to the point, you lose the point. And so I have to go back and apologize.
Yeah.
And
I
so,
like that.
yeah, it
That's good.
happens. Like I said, I'm down to a handful.
Okay.
used
He's
to be
like, it's
handful.
rare,
Better.
but okay.
It
happens.
He's like, last
Okay.
year's
Right.
better. Than,
Yeah.
This year's better than
Right.
last year.
That's
Th-
good.
And,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
but that's the purpose of changing who we are.
Yeah.
It's just correcting behavior.
But
It
I
is.
think
You're
that's
always
it.
correcting.
I
That-
think
and that's
bringing
okay.
apologies, being willing to
Yeah.
apologize
yeah.
is the best model.
Yes.
Most
Yeah.
people will be very caught off guard by just a direct, you know what, I could have handled that better.
Mhm.
I literally had that yesterday, and I had to just be like, about an hour later, I did not handle that the way that I am proud of handling that. I'm really sorry. No
Yeah.
excuses. I just,
Mhm.
I was culture
that's it.
shocked.
I came
go,
from my own flustered
"Wow."
space, and I'm so
Coming
sorry.
from
But it
government.
it does
I
force the
couldn't-
person on the
Oh my
receiving
gosh.
end to then be
Such a
like,
different thing.
I
yeah,
couldn't
I've had moments that I
believe
could have handled better
some of
too.
the
Right?
things
Absolutely.
that
Yeah.
agents or
Yeah,
lenders
love
said.
that. Anything else you've had to unlearn?
Not professional always.
No, I was.
What's
culture
happening in the side conversation
sorry.
over here?
I
Tell
was
us.
sharing how, in government, the way you interact has got to be very different
Oh,
than
yeah.
in our sector,
Okay.
and how that change must have been hard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was
For her.
culture shock.
Yeah.
One,
Oh,
because
yeah.
I'm an empath to the heart. So it's very hard for me to have difficult conversations.
Sure.
to the point where I was going, okay, well, this is how they are. Well, then I'm going to match their energy. Well, I'm going to speak this way and I'm going to act this way. And I go, but this is not who you are.
Yeah.
You do not have to match someone's energy. I had to learn to be true to myself. I remember people telling me, well, Latrice, you have to have tough skin in this industry.
Oh.
And then I thought about it, I said, but I don't. I have to have boundaries.
Yeah.
But I want to remain with soft skin.
Yeah.
Because it gets you so much further.
I like that.
It's a disservice to my clients and the agents I work with.
Yeah.
So when they're spiraling and I'm going, okay.
Yeah.
Now what is our solution to all of this?
Yeah.
And he
That's
even
great.
laughed. He goes, Latrice, I just never had an agent that responded the way you responded. Because I taught myself I will have soft skin with tight boundaries.
That's good. Is there anything else that people told you you have to be when you got into real estate that you're like, I don't know. I don't know if that's
I would
ended
say
up true.
older. I was really young.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that was, and at the time I had a baby face. I was like in my late 20s and that was tough. I had to
Yeah.
overcome that.
You have to be.
Yeah.
older.
So I had to know
Sure.
more. I had to have
Okay.
more, I had to understand the market a little bit better.
Okay.
I did a lot of open houses.
Yeah.
I had to learn quickly.
Okay.
So
I'm laughing just because my 18-year-old son, he wants to do real estate. And I'm just like, you need to be a little older. I'm having only because I just think maturity does play a lot in experience. But gosh, some of these newer, younger agents are just
I'll tell you what,
kicking some butt.
Yeah.
one of my first listings was, it was over $1 million. And this was back in 2003, 2004. It was in Granite Bay. I was doing an open house and the neighbor saw me pull up the trash cans and put them away. And then I was just doing the extra things.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know, you're probably new because I was young. He's like, but we'd love to talk to you. And he was a business owner. And I'm sure he just looked at me and thought I was that guy
Yeah.
at one time. So I'll give him a shot. You only get that once in life.
Yeah.
So use it to your advantage when you're young.
No,
and you
it's
don't know
true.
anything.
No,
Yeah.
it's also just mom protection, right?
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
like
yeah.
I
I get
just
it.
don't want
Yeah.
him to like come under me and feel like I'm always going to have his back. Like
Sure.
I want him to go
That makes
learn and
sense.
fall and
Right.
do all those things and get back up.
The failure builds character.
Exactly.
But I always said when I worked for government service, I remember coming in young, I was 20 years old, and I actually performed better than agents that have been working there for 20, 30 years because we get stagnant. We think we know, we
Good thing.
stop
You're
learning.
young, you're hungry.
So I am actually a fan of new agents and younger agents because they come in this industry with a different drive. I see some of these young ones that are like, you could just see the hunger in them and where it's getting ready to go. Right. And they're out, they're doing the hustle and bustle. They're doing the open houses, hours, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right? They're opening doors. They're just hungry. And I think in this industry, it's not necessarily age. It is the hunger.
It's the motivation.
How bad do you want it? What are you willing to do? Right. Because
That's a big part
once
of
you
it.
do what everyone is not doing, because I tell them, I mean, my daughter, she's 22. She's got her certificates. We're waiting on her state exam. But I always ask her, I said, why would someone choose you over me? Because at the end of the day, it's all the same guidelines, even lender partners, right? But what's going to make you stand out? That is who you are, and that is who your business is. So I think the biggest thing is emotional stability, but knowing who you are and why they want to work with you.
Yeah.
What was your original question? I can't remember.
Oh, well,
What you're good at and what you're not?
No, it was the
we covered-
learned and not learned.
yeah, what
They
did
learned
what
it
did
all.
you
Oh,
have
right.
to
Behavior.
unlearn from past experiences or past careers coming into real estate? Is there anything that is just dramatically different that you feel like you've,
Can I answer?
of course.
Yeah. So coming into real estate, I was used to getting no's. I was in sales. I've been in sales and marketing my entire life. So
Okay.
that part was easy, and serving people, it's what I love to do. So
Yeah.
that was easy. The harder thing to do from the start was probably listening better,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because they want to hear you. They want to know why they want to hire you, but
Mm.
you have to, I had to learn how to step back
Slow
and ask
down,
questions and
listen.
slow down and listen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So even today, when I go to an appointment, I remind myself,
Yeah.
shut up. Like, don't talk so much.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
probably tricky for, as we were talking about, like the younger agents coming in. That's probably a good word of
Yeah.
advice for a newer, younger agent, because you feel like you have to come in and prove
Sell
yourself,
yeah.
and tell everybody why they should give you a shot. But sometimes the most mature, like the sign of the most maturity is the comfortability to sit back and listen, and then figure out how you can actually solve the real problem,
Mm-hmm.
the real need.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah,
like
I
that.
think it's interesting because some of the best things that I think I learned from my career is obviously like understanding the macro and micro environment and historical trends. Like I thought that gave me a real big edge on where I thought the market was going. And I say thought because it was really helping me up until, COVID happens and just puts a big loop in everything and flips everything upside down. So that all changed. So learning to adapt and change in this ever changing market and being a Virgo and liking the things the way that I like, I have to really constantly tell myself, you've got to learn, you've got to adapt, even like, embracing social media. And apparently now I'm a content creator. So that's just how it works. And, my husband just is hanging in there with me. And when we're on date night, I'm taking these little clips. Mom, just go with it. Yeah. It's fine. Content and those kinds of things. But learning and unlearning those kinds of things and just being, ability to change and go with the flow.
Yeah. And
That's
to piggyback off of what Brian says, what you're just saying, listening is huge.
Listening's huge.
I tell, because if they're interviewing you, that means they've already looked at your Google reviews, they've looked at your Zillow, they already like what you have put forward.
Sure.
When you're on those listing appointments, it is really just them telling you what they need and where you're going to fit in. I always will ask, what are your expectations of the person you choose to hire?
Yeah.
And that is where I respond to, and that is the space I stay in.
Yeah.
Because if I can't meet your expectations, you're not going to hire me anyways.
Right.
I've literally gotten I don't even say I've done listing appointments, but every single listing I've gotten hired for, I've never done a listing interview. They've literally called me to say, hey, this person reached out to me. You helped this person. Can you help me?
Yeah.
And I just sit and I listen.
Yeah.
Because if I don't meet your expectations, and I'll tell them, I'd rather have a relationship with you than to disappoint you. Because there's times I've went on appointments with buyers and sellers, and I've told them, to be honest, I am not the agent for you. Here's why. Yeah. Right? Because I think it goes both ways. This industry is relationship based, right?
Sure.
And you also have to respect me too. And I also have expectations of my clients.
Yeah.
It's not just you have them of me. I am not going to allow you to be condescending. I'm not going to allow you to be the professional, but hire me to do the job. Yeah. I need you to trust me to get you to the finish line. And if I don't feel that energy that it's going to work, I will walk away. Yeah. Because all money is not good money. And I do not want to damage my reputation.
Let's talk a little bit about that, because I did have a note. I wanted to talk a little bit about relationships and reputation in this business. How quickly you can lose a reputation, what it takes to build a strong reputation. I do want to ask Carlos, I feel like one of your strengths that I've observed coming in alongside your father and helping is a very natural knack for building relationships. Like that seems to come really easy and genuine for you, whether it does or not, it appears from the outside to come. So part of my question is that true? Does it come as naturally, or is it something that you've worked at? And then what do you find is your best approach for building those relationships with clients? You just come from a different side of it with trust and needing to advise and counsel and listen. Yeah. So talk to me a little bit about that.
Well, I think that's where we're kind of similar. Is like we're usually dealing with clients, and it's like a large transaction. I mean, you guys are dealing with their home, but it can be anywhere from 5 to 100,000, depending on residential or commercial. So, trust is important, right? And talking about relationships is like, I think a lot of people think very short term. Like most people think very short term, right? Is like, what can I get next week or this month, right? Versus like 5, 10, 20 years in the future. And time goes by super fast. I know I'm young still, right? But I just see my little nephews getting older, and I'm like, shoot, I'm getting gray hairs. They're calling me Unc and stuff. But I just think if you're thinking long term, you need to understand like the relationship's more important than the transaction right away, because those people are gonna, everybody has, like we talked about, right? Everybody has their life going on too, right? And so like if you treat that person with respect at that moment. You don't know what they're going through in their life at that moment too. You might be that one person that like made them feel good that day, or like they had a good week because of the, you know, the conversation you had with them, like on that appointment, or like listening to them on the, like maybe they have a job where nobody listens to them, right?
Yeah.
And just because you were at their house listening to a bunch of stuff that had nothing to do with maybe what my scope of work would be, right? But I'm listening. And not only that, that's also going to help me, you know, provide a better service for them at the end of the day too. But,
well, and that can be really tricky. I feel like, especially in the business that you're in, and agents, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we can get caught up in like, yeah, he's the flooring guy, right? Like there is a barrier sometimes with either your clients, like the homeowners thinking about that business owner, or even just agents dealing with the people that they're referring out, or your affiliate partners. So when you can actually refer out or work with somebody that you have a real relationship with, that you've worked with for a long time, and you can trust, and you can call up and say, hey, my client's freaking out because the install guys or whatever, and you have a real relationship on the other end that can come and smooth that over. And, you know, that's got to make a huge difference in everybody's experience to, I don't know.
No
so
question.
I'm just curious from an agent's perspective, for affiliates that you refer out once versus, oh, this is my guy, I'm going to refer out 10 years. What is the difference? What makes that a different
Most of the
scenario?
people I hire, whether it's inspectors or contractors, most of them have been with me over 10 years.
Okay.
So I give them a shot. I really like to see if they follow through, if they schedule and follow through again, and also how they handle the client. You know, our clients tend to be, they're not always similar to our personalities, but we attract a certain type of client. And And I want to make sure that the people I'm hiring also, you know, they blend well.
Yeah.
Well, because they're a reflection of you.
They are.
Absolutely.
So I always feel that, like, if I am putting my name on something and I'm referring someone, it's because they trust me. So they're trusting the people that I'm sending their way. So yeah, I think it's extremely important to build that reputation with someone. And honestly, for me, is as simple as calling me back and communication. I think that's lost in a lot of ways. I've had contractors blatantly just not show up and not call.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like,
we've all had that.
Exactly. And it's infuriating for everybody involved. So, I mean, that's really simple. Answering your phone, calling someone back. If you're running late, if something comes up, it's life,
Just
right?
send
Like,
me a
things
text
happen.
message.
Just let us know.
Tell me,
Let us
I'm
know.
running behind.
Yeah, no
Something-
problem. Or I
life
can't make
happens
it
to all of
today.
us.
We're going to come on this day. I don't always like to hear it, but it's better than, not doing
Ghosting.
that. So I think that goes a long way. So,
Yeah.
Just that kind of stuff.
I know you had a question earlier that you were wanting to ask Carlos about.
The question is, I work with several, general contractors, and they bring in their subs. And if I try to bring in a different sub, a lot of times it's like, oh, we really don't want that. They kind of give pushback.
Yeah.
Is there a way to handle that better in coming from your end of the deal? Because you guys are tile experts. So how would you tell me if we wanted to bring you in, say, on a job?
Yeah.
And we're already working with somebody, a general.
With a general already. I mean, if you can connect me with the general contractor, right? And then he can kind of fill me out.
Yeah.
See if he knows anybody that has worked with me in the past.
Okay.
What I do, going back to the listening part, right, is like, I obviously don't have my general license, but I work with plenty of them.
Yeah.
So if I listen to the client, I kind of get a feel of what they need, then I can get a feel of like which general would take on their project depending on the location as well. And I'm like, oh, I got somebody that can help you with that. And then that way I could still get my portion of the job, but I know they're getting the job done with somebody I trust that will, get it done on schedule.
Put you two together and let you talk it out and see where it goes.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because if you have the confidence that, hey, this Carlos isn't just a tile guy, he's a business owner and he's good at relationships too. And he'll talk it out and build.
Sometimes we as agents get caught up in being the third party when we can just step out of it and go, here you go. And
which isn't that better?
It is better. So much better.
But it takes trust.
It does.
To be able to do that. You're like, I'm not going to step out unless I know this is going to go well. So
because agents aren't control freaks at all.
Not at all. Not at all. But I've actually done that a few times as I've introduced one of my contractors to the general and just kind of leave it at them, and then they make their connections and go from there.
Yeah.
You guys also have another aspect of your business of just repair, cleaning, getting like tile, real nasty tile for listings and things like that, all ready to go and cleaned up and fixed, right?
Yes, so I know we spoke about that. I'm working on it. It's just been we're actually just doing really well, our tile installation business.
Okay.
So I kind of put that on the back burner, but I was talking about Katie about opening up adding a service to basically do commercial and residential tile cleaning, like grout cleaning and carpet cleaning, and I got
grout replacement,
all that. Yeah,
okay.
But
that's probably something that
it's
really
huge.
needs to be fixed. It makes a big difference, right?
It does.
Yeah. So I got all the equipment. It's in storage. I just haven't had the time right now. We've just been
talk more.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think that'd be a great addition for sure.
It'd be great.
Yeah. All right. Talk to me then from the reputation side with agents without naming any names. We don't need to go into horror stories throwing people under the bus, but tell me what makes an interaction with an agent stick out and build your reputation for that person that you worked with, and what is like what's going to kill a reputation in 2 minutes dealing with professional agent to agent type relationships.
I can deal with anybody as long as, if I deal with an agent who's only about taking care of their client and not about taking care of the entire deal, meaning caring about who they're sitting across the table from, whether it's me, the seller, the buyer, everyone.
Win-win-win.
It's a team. The whole teamwork makes the dream work thing is real.
Yeah. Okay.
So when you run into agents who are all about my client, my way, it has to be this. And it's like, okay, well, it's hard to.
We're not going to get very far.
No, you need a little flexibility.
Yeah. Okay.
We're all doing our best.
Well, like when they're fighting you on like every piece of it, like the escrow company, and they're insistent on like all these things. I'm like, does it really matter at the end of the day?
God.
And I've been doing this too long. So if you come at me that way, that's where I'll be apologizing later. Maybe.
Maybe. That's the big maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So teamwork, collaborative approach.
It's really evident when people are working towards the same goal. I say this all the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like the last few escrows I've done have been fantastic because everyone is on the same page. We're all just working for our clients. We come to resolutions on before we even get into contract, having those conversations beforehand. Like, what is your client looking for? Wow, picking up the phone and asking that and putting it together and writing an offer that just is so great for all parties. And then here's the inspection reports and we didn't like this. So do you think we could have a credit? Sure. Yes, that would work great for my client because they'd prefer that over repairs. It just makes things go so smooth if you're having these conversations, and you'll be able to just navigate that transaction even better.
I had one the other day. I was representing a buyer I was representing the seller, and the buyer's agent wrote a great offer. He said, but we want to use our title company. Here's why. It totally made sense. And I'm like, you know what? Okay, we'll do that. We have to be flexible. And it did make the transaction easier in that specific deal.
Yeah.
So
there's always reasons for that.
It's not.
It's not always ego. Yeah. I have one agent. We've done multiple transactions together, but I understand her clientele base. So I know when their offer comes over is going to be with their escrow company, and I'm always okay with it. But that's because from the beginning, the first transaction we did, she picked up the phone, she called, and she explained. It made sense.
Yeah.
Right. So even if we have escrow pre-opened, sometimes it just makes sense to redirect.
Yeah.
And I think, but all that comes down to communication. How are we communicating with each other? Is it pride? Is it ego? Or is it business? Right. And so I think it's just having the discernment and the conversation before we do it.
I love that.
I'm fortunate. I have a small team. So there are times when I'm the person that shouldn't be in the deal because I'm not getting along well with the other person on the other end for whatever reason. It's usually just a personality conflict, and it doesn't happen often, but I have Adriana who's on our team. I'll pull her in and say, hey, I need you to help. And wow, it's crazy. They get along and everything works. And
that's a sign of a great leader when you can recognize and step back. Somebody else might, I'm going to remove myself.
I might be able to help 80%, but the other 20, it's actually a detriment to everyone.
But you can recognize
But
it.
you
I can,
recognize it, and that's
totally.
just
That's
being
great.
transparent
That's great.
of knowing our
Yeah.
strengths and weaknesses.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's why you have a team.
Yes.
Everyone is strong and have different strengths to
Mhm.
create a successful team.
Yeah.
Everyone should not be like mind.
Yeah.
So,
And to be transparent about that, the nice part is when we've had those instances a couple years down the line, that same agent that we may have not, maybe we just didn't see things the same, they'll call me up and say, hey, I'm looking forward to working with you again. And it's because I let it go instead of making an issue of it.
Yes.
Yeah. That's just self-awareness. That's really great. Like, I think
Self-awareness is good.
that is a sign of maturity, having done this a long time,
Yes.
learning, unlearning, all of the things that we've been talking about. I think that's a really great example.
Well, he
of
brings
that.
up a great point too. And he's like, as you come back around, I mean, if you're going to be in this business for a while, you're going to see the
you
same
better
people
have a good
over and over again.
reputation.
Exactly.
Right. And not
So-
and a reputation of not doing the
We're all
shady things.
essentially neighbors here.
Yes.
You're
You're going to come across these people.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. Okay, that's actually a really good segue talking about longevity, because we're getting near to the end of our time together, but I want to talk just a little bit about the grind that nobody sees. If you're going to sustain yourself in this business, some of the just unseen work ethic, hustle, what does discipline in this business look like on a random Tuesday? Like, nothing's happening, nobody's watching, you run your own business. What does discipline look like?
I think for me, it's getting up, going into the office, 8:30 in the morning, no matter if I was out late the night before, if I don't feel good, I have to be in an environment that where I'm producing, where I'm working, right? It's easy to get distracted at home.
Yeah.
There's no oversight.
Yeah.
So for me, it's going in on the days I absolutely don't want to go in.
Okay. And my question is really open-ended, because for you, 4 years in, that discipline and what you need to do and make yourself do is going to look different than Brian, who's 20 plus years in on a Tuesday morning, maybe, or tell me I'm wrong.
No, it's different. And because we're all different,
Yeah,
I cannot work in a structured environment. It doesn't work for me. So I like working from home. I have a home office. I work out of the kitchen sometimes, drives my family crazy because you can hear me. I'm in the middle of the house, like, get out. But my business really changed, and we're going to talk about running for just a second.
Perfect.
My business started in 2003, and in 2010, I was doing great. I was working 80 hours a week. No one saw me. I mean, I was disciplined. But the real discipline came when I realized I was overweight and I needed to change because I was working too much. Started running in 2010. And then I found out what real discipline was, because I was getting up every day at 4 a.m., between 4 and 5 and running every day. I still have that discipline. So those things have changed how I do business.
So some of the life habit disciplines, really
some of the structure that I was
work.
lacking.
Okay.
And the structure for you, going into the office, for me, it was starting my day this way. And that led to more structure. And then from there, I added people in my business that helped me be
leverage.
They take care of more of the structure around me. So that way I can do what I do, which is I'm a rainmaker. That's our business model. So I have to be out in the public and talking, but it all started with more structure and discipline. Yeah. And if you can do the running piece or whatever you like to do to work out, it really helps. It helped me a lot.
That's great. Yeah. Any thoughts over on the side?
Yeah, I had a coach, exercise coach one time tell me, how you do one thing is how you do everything. And that literally sticks with me.
That's great.
Because anything that I do, I'm just above and beyond. And that's with, I try at least, wife, mom, realtor, friend, all the things. But with that comes, I was a workaholic, still am actually. And so I think creating boundaries, treating your business like a business, and like it does look different for everybody, because I also do work from home. I'm definitely more productive there. I find that if I go into the office, I can get distracted by conversations and I just want my head down and work. Yeah. Sure. So, and that's including if I'm on vacation or somewhere, people say you get slow, go on vacation or book a vacation, because that's when you're going to start getting the busiest,
so much,
which is awesome. But I just think that it's really important to just treat your business like a business. I think that's been extremely valuable.
Yeah, that's great. Any thoughts over there, Carlos?
Just say I guess I'm kind of similar to Brian. Is like I know that's how we kind of connected a few years back.
Yeah.
Was over running, but I'm nursing a knee injury right now, so that's been it sucks a little bit because it helps you like relieve some of the stress from day to day. But I would say like same thing every morning. I have to like get some type of movement in like before my phone starts blowing up, and because like being construction, my days are like 5:30 is like the phone starts ringing.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
I
so
bet.
I got to basically be up an hour before that, get my movement in, and if I don't get the movement in, I'm like,
Yeah.
I might have to say a couple apologies after. 'Cause I'm just a little bit
Same.
kind of a
Yeah,
a-hole.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
when I don't
good.
get my movement in. Yeah,
Get
like
that
I need
movement
that.
in.
Yeah.
That's good.
So
I
I
like
think
that.
that the common consensus is making sure our head is in the right
Clear.
space
Yeah.
Sure.
before we start our day. And
Yeah.
everyone has a different routine,
mhm.
but I agree.
That's
Yeah.
really good. I
Yeah.
like that. Get your head clear in whatever way you need. You got to
Yeah.
figure out for yourself.
Yeah, because
gets my head
sometimes
clear to start
that's
the day.
more productive than the discipline.
Yeah.
Because I know for me, I would be devastated. Like my twins are 9,
Oh,
and I
yeah.
want to talk to them in the morning, getting them
Yeah.
ready for school, making breakfast. And I have clients calling me at 6:37 in the morning, or another agent or a
Mhm.
contractor. Something's going on. Well, I started setting the tone. My day does not start until 8:30 in the morning.
Mhm.
Here's why. And that's why I say you get to hand select.
Yeah.
I
like
might
that.
not be the agent for you. I would do my all, but these are things that are non-negotiable.
That's so
And my
good.
family time is one. So
Good if
on
you
my
stick to that.
calendar,
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
what? But that's why I have the best clients. On my calendar, it's family time in the morning, 7:30 to 8:30 before my girls are off to daycare or school, and in the evening because my husband works evenings.
Yeah.
So guess what? I'm blocking out 4:30 to 6:30, unless it's an emergency.
Sure.
But I'll check back in if you need me after 6:30.
Yeah.
And
that's
it's made
great.
for a
Set those
very, so
boundaries.
even disciplining and structuring your clients, because if you don't,
Well, you know what you're
I'll
doing
call you
there
at
is
all times.
calendaring. And that's
yes,
like
Yeah.
number
And-
one thing you need to be doing.
and your
is calendaring.
non-negotiables, but we train our clients and people how to teach us.
Well, and it
treat us.
changes too,
in
like
our
you
business.
said,
It
as your
does.
kids get older, as
Sure.
your life
Yes.
events
You'll have
change.
different-
It does.
Your priorities will
and where your
change.
business is, if
Yeah.
there's an emergency. But
Yeah.
I do try to have even that structure, because I always say we're only as good as we are. But if we don't have our family and we're not available to our family, well, why are we even doing this?
Mm.
Well, the
That's good.
number one challenge that agents have, I've had the opportunity to sit down with like the top, say, 1,000 agents in the country that do 200, 300, $400 million deal. And they all have the same problem when you get them in the room and they start being honest. They'll take care of everyone else, but they don't take care of themselves.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
And so, and every year I see the same people and it's the same problem. And you can
Yeah.
always tell when somebody has been able to fix that in their life because
Yeah.
they look a little like more low key, more relaxed. And you're like, what'd you do?
Yeah.
And then they tell you, you're like, oh, I need to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I like that.
yeah.
I'm glad you brought running into it because I have a marathon analogy
Okay.
to real estate, and
Yeah.
I'm probably going to butcher it. So
No,
you,
it's okay.
you can
Nope.
absolutely correct me. But apparently, I believe there is like a mile 20 moment, like a
Mhm.
fatigue.
It's called
The
hitting the wall.
Hitting the wall.
Yeah,
Yes, I
that's
have that
real.
written down.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay. I'm on
It's usually
it.
between mile 18 and 20, 21. So
Okay.
yeah.
Well, if you
Yeah.
run CIM, they actually have a physical wall. Like it's on,
Stop.
like they make a brick wall and it says the wall. And you're like, thanks. If I didn't know, already,
Yeah.
I've done
Wow.
3.
I've
I haven't done as many
Wow.
as you, but I have done 3.
No, that's
so yes,
awesome.
I've
Yeah.
seen the wall
Yeah.
and you're like, thanks for the reminder.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
So I want to know, is there a wall in a real estate transaction? Is it 60 days of a listing and you haven't gotten an offer? Is it a year of a buyer that hasn't put in an offer? What is the wall and what do you do when you hit those walls in
Oh.
real estate?
So my wall isn't a transaction. My wall
Okay.
is August.
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 That's so good to know about yourself though.
Yeah.
In a
my wall's
calendar year.
August. Yeah.
Okay.
Why do you say it's
so? Tell us
August?
about that.
Because not every year, but most years, because you start the year ramping up.
Yeah.
We're usually making our goals the year before and last
Mhm.
quarter. And by the time I hit August, I've hit a certain amount of transactions. I've talked to a certain amount of people. I'm over it.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
that's
But you
when,
still got a whole quarter left.
yes.
Exactly.
And that's when you need to go on vacation.
Uh-huh.
You need to take time for yourself.
Okay.
And I've noticed when I've done that, I fare better because the last quarter you can
Mhm.
really kill it if you're on point. But if you're not,
I've never thought of it that way, but
So-
that
So
makes
good.
full sense.
I'm exactly the same
So
way.
you're
but that's why you
tracking your
book a vacation.
conversations. Okay.
I
I've never.
just know.
Oh, yeah.
August, it's like,
So
You
I have
start
it all on
feeling
an Excel spreadsheet, literally every year since I started business. And it's every transaction, every address, if they were a buyer or seller, where
Yeah.
that referral came from, like all of it. So you can go
Same.
back and look and
Yeah.
see, okay, what were these trends? It's really nice that's that finance background in me.
Yeah.
Everything is on an Excel spreadsheet. And
Mine-
it's so helpful.
Mine is totally transactional based. I'm an independent agent, and I would never forget when I had 10 going at once, and I literally was getting ready to have an emotional breakdown
Okay.
because 10 transactions with at least 4 people on each side, I would cap myself out, and I will say once I'm here, I would not do another transaction until I'm closed. My
Okay.
max is now 8. That
Okay.
is it. I'm there. I'm not showing a house. I am not taking a listing until some start closing.
Okay. So that's your max.
That is
That's her wall.
my
Yeah,
wall.
that's your wall. I love it.
Yes.
Any thoughts over here? What's your wall in business? Where do you hit up and you go, I don't know if I can push another minute?
every day, but then I say,
this year it feels like every day, right? So, and at least in our business.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, hey, we just gotta,
Yeah.
we'll figure it
Push
out,
through,
right?
yeah.
As we
Yeah.
keep going and just hire more people and train more people and like, I don't know. My plan is I want to continue to grow, so I want to keep hitting the wall as much as possible
Yeah,
and breaking through it.
that's good. Hit the
I
wall,
love
break
that.
through it.
Break through it.
That's
yeah.
got to be a little bit of the euphoria of running, right? Is hitting
Yeah.
that wall.
It is. And so in business, we'll go back to August. I usually start scheduling myself more into the schedule.
Mhm.
You know, maybe I run with my running partners more, or I do just to give myself a little more free time. But in a race, so I just had a race in May. It was my first race back since my first marathon back since knee surgery last year. And my coach ran with me, who's a friend. And another friend of mine who's a training partner was on a bike. And this was down in Newport Beach. He's from Newport. He's screaming at me after mile 18, and I can't say the words he used. But the bottom line is it takes this business is not about one person. Like I'm not an army of one. It takes several people around me to keep me going. And it's those people that
does.
help me push through and
I agree.
move forward.
I like that you bring that up too, because I am still a solo agent. I don't have a team yet. I've always kind of played with it, but then I'm too much of a control freak to let go of anything. But I think it's important, and I love that you created the Sac Real Producers to know that we're not alone. In these
Yes.
situations, because you can feel like an island. And me working from home, like as
Yes.
much as I do love that, sometimes I'm just like, in my own head,
Yeah.
and you feel alone. And, so getting this honor is super exciting, and it's fun to share in the wins, but sometimes you don't have people to share in those wins with you or understand why it's such a big win. Like,
That's what I told. That's what I shared. I said, this gives us something to say, you are doing amazing, because there's really no reward in the hard work or something really to look forward to with Real Producers. And that was my thing. For me, it was a goal, something I got to chase that was attached to this work that we show up to do every single day.
Yes.
To say, good job. You guys are doing amazing.
Yeah.
I had a former broker. I was in a small brokerage, and I won't say where, but I was leaving to go to a bigger brokerage because I wanted to elevate. They say if you, and not to talk anybody down, but if you're the smartest person in the room, find another room.
Sure.
And so I wanted to grow. I wanted to grow past that brokerage. And, at that point I wasn't doing a lot, but I had aspirations just like you to try to do that. And she told me when I was leaving, she was like, well, you're not a top producer.
Yeah,
love
wow.
that.
And
Well,
so
that's the clear sign that you needed
Definitely
to
go. And I said, not yet.
Yeah.
Right.
There you go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this was like, and that, it gets me really emotional because when I saw the article, I was like,
Yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah.
so
And that
that's kind of cool.
I genuinely do think your circle is your ceiling. Who you surround yourself with will inspire you to reach higher levels. And that is the goal of Real Producers, is surround yourself with people that are grinding, that are pushing, and you'll start to see yourself as one of them. And it,
and you get to see what they're doing. You get to ask questions. And we are sole agents, but I tell them, I have a team of people that support me. I don't have agents under me, but I don't do this alone.
Right.
I could not do this without my assistant,
Yeah.
without my communications director, my social media person, right?
Your
So
team around you.
we have a team. It's a support system, but I think it all looks different, right?
Yeah.
And I'm a control freak too. Not that I'm a control freak. I just love my clients so much
Yeah.
that I have to trust that you're going to handle them the same way I handle them.
That's the
And
biggest
that's
thing.
the hardest part
Yes.
of letting go. So
Yeah.
I said, I've opted to build a team, my escrow team, right? They understand my personality when we're dealing with my sellers.
Mhm.
My assistant with the communication, text messages, emails. We have these expectations of providing the best customer service where they feel supported, safe, and heard.
Yeah,
And then we operate with honesty and integrity.
that's great.
We will never lie and we will never mislead, even if it causes us to say, okay, we've got to take this home off the market. We don't do it for the money.
Yeah,
We do it because we care.
I love that. I have to say, I think a lot of real estate agents might relate to that calendar time of year and hitting
Yes.
a little bit of a
Yes.
wall in the end of summer, because we have noticed over the last 6 years, our fall event is our highest attended every year, because I think by September, everybody's like, oh, I've been all alone all summer and I got to see some people and I got to get, some juices
I love
flowing.
that.
So I think that's funny that you said that. I've definitely seen that come true.
And I felt
right.
that. I just never correlated it till he mentioned it.
Yeah.
I completely resonate with what he's saying.
Yeah. And if you can know that about yourself, then you can make a plan
Yes.
Yes.
to push through
There,
that wall.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
All right, you guys, we have come to the end of our time together, but we get to wrap up with my favorite little bit that we've been doing on this podcast. If you've listened to us in past episodes, it's called the Fast Five. It's not scary. I didn't prep you with these questions before on purpose. They have nothing to do with real estate.
Oh, okay.
Oh gosh. You're just going to answer off the top of your head, whatever comes first. We're going to go in a fast round robin way, and we're just going to have some fun with it. So we'll start over here with Lucy.
I knew it. I'm ready.
I
Like, I'm ready.
do the
I'm ready.
clockwise turn. So these are so easy. I promise. I'm going to start you off with like the easiest. Actually, all right. Maybe I'll
Maybe a
switch the
little
order.
harder.
'Cause
Oh no.
no, not too bad. So yeah, just pop through and then we'll go to the next one. And yeah, okay. What is your go-to movie snack? If you're watching a movie, if you're at the concession stand, you got to have something to munch on. What are you getting at the movies?
It is popcorn.
Popcorn.
Yes.
Okay.
I love popcorn.
That's so classic. That's so, yeah. What about you?
Popcorn, yeah.
No way.
Popcorn.
Come on, you guys. Have a little bit more
extra
fun.
butter.
Extra butter, popcorn.
Or,
Okay.
or
do you-
those, if I'm like craving it, what are those dibs?
Milk duds?
Dibs.
I'm
Oh,
all,
there
the
you
milk
go.
duds
I
that you
like
throw
that.
in the
Those are
popcorn
pretty
because I do
good.
that
Get
too.
a little milk duds in the popcorn. Wait,
They
that is a
melt.
dentist's nightmare. What are you doing to your dentist right now? Caramel and popcorn kernels at the same time. Okay. All right. So 2 popcorns plus a little bit of dibs and a little bit
Dibs,
of
yeah.
Milk duds.
milk duds.
funny.
There we go. I do like the junior mints. I just like the minty,
I haven't had those in years.
slow.
Me
You get
either.
through the whole movie, but
Yeah.
junior mints. It's weird, but
Popcorn.
come on.
Yeah.
This
with
is so
half
boring.
Butter, half the butter.
Oh, half
Oh,
butter.
yeah.
Half
Okay.
butter and then hot tamales for my wife.
Ooh,
Okay.
She
hot
likes them
tamales.
together.
Good to know.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
forgot about those. I used
Are
to
we
love
getting
those.
sodas with this popcorn?
Yes,
Because
there's
that
always
would
soda.
need
We
a
always-
soda.
Always get soda.
Okay.
And we get the bottomless popcorn.
Okay.
Mhm.
Wow.
Because there's always
you're going back in
there's
the middle of
kids
the movie.
and like we can just
Yeah.
shell it
Put
out.
it in their tray.
Yeah, it's cheaper.
It's more
Yeah.
cost effective.
That's
is,
fair.
yeah.
That's fair. All right.
I feel like it
Oh,
is
come on.
popcorn. I feel like you can't
It
watch
has
a
to
movie
be.
without
All right.
popcorn,
I'm
right?
never putting this question.
It's almost like a thing. Like if you're in a
Yeah.
theater,
Gotta
the
have
butter,
popcorn.
I feel like
Yeah.
they totally
Okay.
drive you
My
straight
husband
to
gets
it.
popcorn, but I
Extra
never do the
butter.
I mean, the
popcorn.
second you walk into the theater, it's overwhelmingly
It-
smells like
yeah,
popcorn.
that's
I mean, it
true.
makes
Kinda-
you
Just
want
butter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yep.
So good.
It's butter.
All right. Let's see if we can get different answers from people on this one. No, I'm just kidding. It's fine that we all have that, or you all have that in common. A business book that everybody should read.
Ooh. So I guess not officially a business book, but I read, You're a Badass by
Okay.
Rachel Hollis.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
that was her last name. And I think in the place that I was and just life, we talk about mental health and those
Sure.
kinds of
Mhm.
things, and just it helped me grow and
Yeah.
just
I would
realize
call that a business book. That's
Yeah.
mindset.
I think it was
Yeah.
a mindset
Yeah.
reset. And when, you're being told you're not a top producer, and I
Sure.
was like, well, yes, I am.
Yeah.
This is how I'm going to achieve it. So
That's great.
yeah, I like that one.
Anything in that space. I'm just not looking for like your summer romance
Oh,
novel,
yeah.
But
I would say probably, I would say there's like 2 books. I don't know if one of them's business, more like self-development, but the how to make friends and influence people.
How to win friends and influence people. Yeah.
Great.
And the magic of thinking big.
Yep. Those are
So I
both
would
great
say
books.
those 2.
I like that. Yeah, those are great. That's what I mean by business book and anything that's talking about mindset. All right. The Giver for me was a big game changer. So I loved The Giver.
I haven't read that one yet.
I haven't either.
I do not read books. So, but the only
You
one
just said those 2 were
I
good.
know.
well, those are classics, and I have briefly read through them.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
haven't- and then I'll add a third one, which would be Think and Grow Rich.
Yep.
Okay.
Which is in line with those.
Think and
They're
Grow
really
Rich.
good. Yeah.
Good stuff.
Mine is How to Have Difficult Conversations, and I cannot think of the author. He's a life coach.
Okay.
Look it up.
How to have
Yes.
difficult conversations.
It is
That would be good.
amazing.
Yeah, that's good. All right. One purchase you've made, like an under $100 purchase. So we're not talking like
wow.
huge,
Okay.
that has changed your life. Some sort of,
Oh boy.
I know. You got it.
Oh, that's easy.
Oh,
Yeah.
Go.
Okay. Start whoever has one.
$100 purchase or less that changed my life. Signing up for a marathon.
Okay. How much is a entrance to a
Back
marathon?
then it was probably $80.
Okay.
This was back in 2000. Now it's 185, whatever it is. Yeah.
That's good. I like that answer. Anybody else got anything?
A purchase under $100.
I know I'm
that has
blind.
I mean,
changed
you can
my
think
life.
small gadgets, nifty little.
That's
The $100
tough
cap
one.
is killing everybody.
It really
I
is.
know.
I'm like
Yeah.
racking my brain.
$100?
I just can't. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
You know, that's lunch today. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
That's true.
That's a good question.
All right,
I
we'll move
don't-
on.
Yeah,
And
I
if you-
guess the
if you-
portion of my gym membership.
There you
There. I was like going along
It's
the
a
lines
month-
of
a
you.
month,
Yeah.
right.
There you
Okay.
go. Monthly.
Right.
Okay, sounds good. I'm going to say I just got readers. So that's changing
Yeah.
my life. The progressives, though,
Oh,
so I
there
don't
you
have
go.
to wear.
I can't even see without these.
Okay.
Like, so, yeah.
I only need them for reading now, but then I was having these readers and then I'm trying to watch TV and scroll my phone and I'm doing
Yeah,
both.
yeah.
So, the progressives.
That's
There you go.
awesome.
I'll try to come in with something.
If we're
silly.
talking monthly, I'd say like ChatGPT.
Okay.
Right?
Subscription.
$100.
That's good.
Subscription to
yeah, that's
changing my life.
ChatGPT. That's definitely
Yeah.
changing people's lives.
Yeah.
So that's good. Or I would have to say Claude, but
Or Claude.
Claude is good too.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts before we move on?
I cannot think.
That's
of
all right. You're
anything.
good.
Sorry.
Okay. If you had to cold call or door knock,
Ooh.
which one do you prefer?
Oh, cold call.
Cold call. Okay.
That's a good question. I would probably door knock.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd
Yeah.
door knock too. Put their face in front of
Exactly.
my
I
face.
feel like I have a better chance.
There you go.
A little bit better odds.
See those dimples, that smile. Yeah. All right, Brian, cold call,
Cold
door
call.
knock. Cold call. Okay.
Door knock.
Door knock.
Yeah.
All right, last one. And this one's going to need a little bit of thought. It's a little bit longer, but if this chapter, this one right now in your life had a title, what would it be
I love this.
that you're headed into this chapter of your life? What would the title be? Try not to overthink it. These are the fast
I
five.
could tell you,
Latrice
my
wants to
birthday was
start.
yesterday, so I just had this
Okay, we're
conversation.
coming this way for the last one. We'll give Latrice.
Mine is living in answered prayers.
Living in answered prayers.
Yep.
I love that.
For me right now, today, say moving forward in the next 10 years,
Mm-hmm.
I'm no longer in sales. I mean, I'm an advisor, but in life, I would say I'm becoming more of a coach. And
Okay.
that's not something I ever wanted.
Yeah.
I don't like, I'm not a good teacher. And I'm actually not a great coach, but I find that because I have so much information to offer and
Yeah.
wisdom, because I've
Mhm.
been doing stuff so long, I want to pass it along. So
Okay.
I find myself doing that even with agents. Never
Yeah.
thought that would happen because it's such a competitive thing. But yeah, just
Coach.
So
coaching.
the title of this chapter.
I don't know.
Passing it on?
Passing
Coach.
it on. There you go.
Passing it
I
on.
like
Love
that.
it.
All
Yeah,
right.
passing. Yes. Yes.
Okay. I think mine would be soaking it in.
Mm.
I feel like I got my last 3 kids at home. My first 2 have launched 21 and 20, and
Now you're
I'm
making me
really
want that.
enjoying
Yeah.
watching that.
Wow.
And I am heightenedly aware of how quick
Yep.
the last couple years with
Yes.
my last ones at home.
Yeah.
So I feel this almost panic, anticipatory grief. So
Mm.
of, so I'm trying to really soak it in.
Big season change coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. My stage right now is like everything that I talked about 5 years ago is like starting to happen.
Mm.
And so like it's coming to terms like, dang it, it's actually happening, right?
Yeah.
But then also understanding like there's that, like we talked about that wall, there's another step still, like
Sure.
there's a lot more levels. And I don't know, I would just say like trusting the process.
Okay.
Right? Trusting
That's
the
good.
process.
Yeah.
Trust
Yes.
knowing
Enjoying
that
the
it's gonna
fruits
work
of
out.
your
Yeah, enjoying
labor.
the fruits, like I've learned in the last year just definitely just be more grateful.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
I can't turn it off. That's one thing about me. I don't know if it's just the phase I'm in right now, but I just can't turn it off ever. So I have to like force myself to like just enjoy with like hanging out with my parents, right? If I'm with my
Mhm.
my brothers and sisters or my nephews, like try to turn the phone off and like just relax and
So you're
Yeah.
in the moment.
enjoy
In the
them.
moment,
Yeah.
yeah. I love that.
I love that.
But at the same time, I'm like
Thinking about it.
Yeah.
That's
Can't
good.
wait to
Yeah.
go look at my phone again.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's a good place to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'd say mine is learning myself again.
Ooh.
And my son, I was like, trying not to get emotional. He's 18 and he's going to college in a month.
Mm.
And just realizing how fast everything happens. And my 16-year-old is, driving and gallivanting all over the place. So barely wants to spend time with us. So trying to figure out what does it look like not being a mom, like the mom that I knew,
Right.
right? And just, remembering who I am and what I
Yeah.
bring to things. And I'm not just a realtor and
Mhm.
all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's been a learning process,
Yeah.
growth.
It's a
and-
big season.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that. Thanks for sharing that, you guys. I liked those answers. I love
Yeah.
just, reflecting on what's happening right now in our lives and what would we title it. So awesome. Well, thank you everybody for being here. It's time
Thanks
to
for
wrap
having me.
up.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank
And
you.
Thank you.
thanks everybody for listening. If you haven't
Yes.
gotten our July issue, you can find it online and read everybody's fuller stories. And we will see you back here again in August. Thanks.
Great.